Everyone was talking, but no one could hear me. I was pregnant at 17, and by 20, I had 3 kids. I lost my mom, who at the time had become my best friend. I had to ask the question. I was driving home from the hospital and I had just lost her, and I'm asking God, as I ask him many questions, what do I do now? Who am I? What am I doing here now? My purpose is ended. And I heard distinctively, whatever you want, Davida, whatever your dreams were, go back to them. My name is DAVIDA Coleman, and I am an author, therapeutic artist, and spiritual advisor. My mission is to breathe and believe and to teach others how to do so. In good times and bad times, here's what I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself every morning, as I did many days through all my traumas. Wake up and win. Just wake up and win. The win is there. Just make it. Make it happen. Wake up and win. Growing up, I think if you would ask anybody, they would always tell you that I was different from day one. I had a lot of development really quick. The responsibilities were heavy, which helped shape and mold me to who I am today. Being the youngest of 5 in a house of 7 total was often quiet, but loud at the same time, if that makes any sense. Everyone was talking, but no one could hear me. Every Christmas, we would pull out the Christmas decorations and everybody would have their stations and what they were gonna hang and what they were gonna do. And here's me, I'd be standing there, short, last one in line, and waiting to jump in to help put a placement of something somewhere. And those days really didn't come. So I really didn't have input on the household. But no worries, because I got a good eyeful. I watched my dad and my sister, who were the greatest of artists, sketch up things out of this world, create things by hand. And I'm a good listener as well as a good speaker. And so I honed those crafts. I watched them. I didn't get angered. I built and wait for a perfect time to display what I could do. I became a parent, and a parent not only once, but 3 times over by the time I was 20. I was pregnant at 17, and by 20, I had 3 kids. Single parent household again. Did I want to do that? Absolutely not. But here's where I was. That doesn't kill you does make you stronger. My mother said that around the house so much that I knew in my tough moments, okay, you're bigger than this. You're bigger than this situation. My mother also told us what you do in the dark will be revealed in the light. So when you wake up, be able to put your pants on and deal with it. All these cliches that my mother had molded me long before I even knew I was shaped. Having 2 parents who had an affliction of mental health issues, which is no stigma or shame to anyone or any family that experiences that, I knew I came in this world with express purpose to heal. When I say I commune with God, I believe we all do. Mine is just a little different. I'm very blessed to see things in snapshots in windows of time before they even happen. Early on, I shared these things with my mother, and my mother would always say, shh, don't tell people that. They're gonna lock you up. They're gonna think you're crazy. Be quiet. And so I would be like, why? I'm speaking my truth. My grandmother was full-blood American Indian, and she never pronounced my mom's name right. My mother's name was Judy, but she would say, Julie, that one there, she's different. She's different. She's with God. Growing up, it got labeled as, oh, are you a psychic, or are you a prophet, or many storytellers, soothsayers, there's many labels, but I'm here to tell you that in my own skin that I'm comfortable in to share with you, I'm a prophet of God. What does that mean? A messenger. What do I have? A message. Where does it derive from? The man upstairs. That is me. That has always been my story. It's current and flowing right now. He ordained this many years ago. I spoke it in my family many times if people would listen. Here I am today, and I thank God that I'm different.
She waited, watching art born in other hands, quietly building a fire of her own. And now the world can only wonder how and where DAVIDA Coleman will finally let that fire land.
Some people say you get one life. I tend to disagree. I feel like I've lived 1,000 already. Food service, nursing assistant, working in City Hall, working in retail. Whatever it took, I did. And if that meant working 3 jobs at one time, which I've done, I did it with grace, because anything you go through, you must have an amount of grace so you can see yourself through at the end of it. Never give up hope. When we get to the part of my life where my education is concerned, like my whole life, untraditional, I doubled back, went to night school, learned that, DAVIDA, you had more than enough credits to graduate. Why didn't somebody come here and just sign for you to get your credentials? In the process of doing that, I told the educators, it's okay, because there's a reason for every misstep and there's a reason for every step. Went on to discover my love for English once again at that point. I have a supervisor pull me to the side and says, DAVIDA, I would like to help you. We want to sponsor you. We believe in you. We believe in your art. We believe in your story. We're going to give you a scholarship to UNH. I took that, I received it, went on to college, got the best courses in crash courses in English that I could. College is very expensive. Had to make a split-second decision of, do I stay and work on my career? My kids are now older. My youngest child is now college material. Do I feed into me or do I pour into her? As a parent, you always pour in before you feed. To date, my daughter thrives. I don't regret that a day ever in my life. Went on to receive an associate's, studied law. Again, presents itself. I must step aside for a moment. Even if it seems to someone else, that's kind of, I still have to do it because all roads lead home. And today, it's led me here. Being a selfless person is not an act, it's an act of kindness, of love out of your heart. There's a scripture that says, out of the abundance of your heart, so your mouth shall speak. I live that every day.
One thing about DAVIDA that I'm going to say, I'm really inspired by her, because here's a woman who had 3 kids by the age of 20. And a lot of times we find women, when they have kids so young, they lose their dreams. You know, they're just trying to keep food on the table for the kids, or get them in school, or get them dressed and just give them shelter. But somebody like her, she has dreams and she was driven, and nothing could make her dreams go away. So I'm really proud of her, and she's really inspiring that way.
So back in about 2009, out of one of the worst days ever with financial ruin, came one of the best blessings ever, which was Soul One LLC, in the formation of it. In 2013, I lost my mom, who at the time had become my best friend. The turbulent years had surpassed, and as I say, I'm a healer and a caregiver. I had given my life to helping her on her journey. When your best friend crosses over, and it is your mom, believe me, and your dad. My dad was equally my best friend. I had to ask the question. I was driving home from the hospital and I had just lost her, and I'm asking God, as I ask him many questions, what do I do now? Who am I? What am I doing here now? My purpose is ended. And I heard distinctively, whatever you want, DAVIDA, whatever your dreams were, go back to them. When people leave your life, it's only for a moment. It's a changing of a guard. It's a changing of an energy. My energy then shifted from my mom and loving her to going on and giving that same type of healing and love to the world, in which to current date, it is one of the best projects I've ever worked at, giving back.
Out of hardship came healing, and from that healing, Soul One was born, shaped by love and faith. Yet what chapter still waits to be written?
My mission is to breathe and believe and to teach others how to do so. Because we live in a society that is always so pressured, stress, high anxiety, I have therapeutic methods, which I include in my workshop, to teach people how to cope with everyday issues and stress and loss, and anything that relates to just healing. Soul One LLC is a business that is tailored towards artists, for artists, and then branches out into the world of media and social media as well. What I mean by that is the publishing of the books, the self-help, therapeutic aspect of my writing, my artwork. I do art design by order, custom design. I do art on anything, canvas, houses, clothing. I prefer clothing. I love clothing. I share a little bit of myself with my abilities, and my abilities also include communications. I shop my workshop throughout the country, East Coast to West Coast, and again, this therapeutic side of it would be the spiritual side of it as well. I am also an ordained minister, so I have the therapeutic side of it. I have the books, and then I have the whole clothing and art to clothing. And you can look me up on my website, Instagram, Facebook, all the medias, and find my works and find what speaks to you. It is an anchor. It represents my mom. My mom was my anchor. When she left, I needed something to anchor me. And Soul One did that. And I try to be the anchor for whoever needs the anchorage. That's our story there.
One of the things that I like most about her spirit, she's one of those kind of people where, she has this light about her that, with coworkers, it's kind of, sometimes you're not trying to, get to know them or whatever, you just work with them. But with her, immediately I saw a light and an energy that we just connected immediately.
It is okay to ask God questions. It is okay to have conversation with him. How do you have a conversation with your father in life? Do you not question? We as his children are supposed to ask those things. And so I did. In doing so, he told me, well, DAVIDA, write it down. Tell me about it. With those marching orders, I then set out to write my first book. While still coaching, being a life coach, while still being a mom, I'm no longer a single mom. I did find a good man, still to date with, current day, love him to death.
I went to visit her at her apartment, and when I went into the apartment, she had papers all over the floors, a whole bunch of papers. Everywhere I stepped, there was a piece of paper on the floor, and I'm like, why she got all this paper on the floor? And I picked up one of the papers, and it had a poem on it, and I was like, oh wow, this is really deep. Then I picked up another paper, there was more writing, and that's when it hit me like, oh, she's a writer.
The book I'm displaying right now is The Beginning and the End. This book is a comprisal and a series of poetry. One of probably my favorite stories in here is called Fisherman's Dream. It depicts a part of my time of my life that was very tragic, but also tells a story of triumph. So again, Beginning and the End, and this is my first shot at appeasing God with a conversation that would be pleasing to both people and God. True story.
Her mission was simple: to breathe, believe, and use Soul One as an anchor of healing in a world drowning in pressure. But for a soul built on lessons, what's the next one waiting to be learned?
My workshop, one of them that I have out right now, shopping, as I use as a tool to help people heal, is I tell people, I form a circle, I have them in the circle, and my cue, follow me. So we have stress. Stress would be one we step on because we don't let anything up in this universe into the world out and seep out of our soul that we want to remain in our life that isn't good. So this would be one we step on. Joy. Joy would be one if you can imagine this balloon filled with helium and it rising up. We wouldn't step on our joy. We don't kill joy. We let joy rise. Green would always represent what it does in life is that money. I send up a balloon all the time with my kids and I teach them you have to pull down the blessings. Pull them down to you. Summon them to you. It's okay. Now, do you hear people say, oh, you shouldn't be praying for money or you should? How else do we live here in this world? God doesn't want anybody, any of his people to suffer. So again, why the green? Pull down that blessing. We then gather them all around, put them back in the circle again, and we close off the circle. Why a circle? Because life is full circle. It represents the beginning and the end of something and the closure of something. I then have people repeat after me. I am what I think I release. We release the good. If I could give you any kind of takeaway from being an entrepreneur to prepare you for some of the slates and some of the falls you're going to take, and you will take them, would be 1, to give yourself room to grow. Growth will happen with the mistakes. It'll just come. 2, give yourself grace and patience because the two go hand in hand. You cannot have grace without patience, and you cannot see patience show up without allowing yourself to have grace. Be anticipation mode. Expect that great things are going to happen to you. In good times and bad times, here's what I want you to look in the mirror and tell yourself every morning, as I did many days through all my traumas. Just wake up and win. The win is there. Just make it. Make it happen. Wake up and win.